Hello, my fans on YouTube. This is Spencer Film slash Roll Guy right back here again. And you guys read the title. You guys know what we're gonna do today. I'm gonna do a type of video I haven't done in a long time, and that is, of course, a ranking video. Now, this ranking video is gonna be on the studio that Disney sadly shut down. That, of course, being Blue Sky Studios. Yeah, Blue Sky Animation Studios. From Ice Age to Rio to Horton Hears a Who to the Peanuts movie, this studio has captured the hearts of audience worldwide. And I'm here to rank all their films plus two more other films in this video. And those two other films are going to be The Ice Age Adventures of Buck Wild, because it's tied to Blue Sky's most popular franchise, aka Ice Age, and Nimona, which is half completed from Blue Sky. Blue Sky. So yeah, y'all, we got 15 films to look over, and this is a top 15 Blue Sky films list. I already got the list in my notes already ready. You can barely see it. But yeah, y'all, like I said, those two films are also going to be included in this ranking. So without further ado, let's get started with the first one, with the first film that we're going to talk about. So let's get started, is what I'm meant to say. With number 15. Yep, that's right, y'all. Number 15. And all I gotta say for number 15 is it is my least favorite Blue Sky film. You know, technically this doesn't count as a Blue Sky film, but it does indeed it is indeed tied to Blue Sky's most popular franchise, as I said, and that is, of course, The Ice Age, The Adventures of Buck Wild. Now, this spin-off film is okay. I don't hate it like some other people do, but I don't think it's great either, really. Hold on a second, y'all. Rover just going to do my notes. About this movie, it's kind of awkward to see the Disney logo in front of an Ice Age movie, but this is back when Disney first this is when Disney first acquired 20th Century Fox and closed down Blue, and this is the year, and this film was released on Disney Plus the year after Disney shut down Blue Sky. So, just looking at my notes here. The animation of this the animation of this film it's decent, but it's a slight downgrade from the mainline Ice Age films. I don't hate this film, don't get me wrong, y'all. There were some good things about it. Like, I liked that the opening, spoiler alert, I like how the opening of the movie it stars Baby Roshan, aka the baby from the original Ice Age film from 2002. That was cool. And some of the voice acting, everyone besides Simon Pegg as the voice of Buck came back to voice their characters, and they're okay. They did an okay job, but I don't know why they had to replace them, but they did an okay job. And it was and speaking of the beginning of this movie, it was pretty cool to see a recap of all the mainline Ice Age films, from Ice Age all the way to Ice Age Collusion Course from 2016. Yeah, and one of the complaints I see a lot with this movie is that they didn't like the villain of this movie, which I actually find that to be. I actually respectfully disagree. I actually think Orson, or however you say his name, is actually a pretty cool villain. May not be the best villain, but he's still pretty cool. And even though Buck's name is in the title of this movie, um, even though Buck's name is in the title of this movie, the story mainly focuses on Crash and Eddie. So, it should be really called the Ice Age Adventures of Crash and Eddie. But Buck is still in it. And there was some pretty fun new characters like Z, who's Buck's somewhat love interest. I don't know. And there was nice callbacks to the mainline series in this movie as well. But what I did not really care for in this movie is that, spoiler alert, Scrat, the squirrel slash rat, is not in this movie at all, due to the fact that Disney and Blue Sky were also making Ice Age Scrat Tales at the time, which is a very cute and very awesome series. I might talk about that series later on in the future. And of course, we get to see a little bit of backstory of Buck, and I thought that was pretty cool. I mean, Buck actually had a team with Z and some other characters as well. But then, after falling into a pit, I think that's when the team started. It didn't go out well. You guys know it's a you know spoiler alert, that is. And it's also another thing I liked about this movie. Another thing I like about this movie is that I actually really liked that they expanded the that they extended the backstory of Ellie from the second film, The Meltdown from 2006. And of course, this movie is about when Crash and Eddie go back to the lost world that we saw in Dawn of the Dinosaurs, and Parsley in Collusion Course, and they meet Buck and they meet Z, and they help Buck and Z try to stop Orson, the villain. And some characters from Ice Age Collusion Course and Ice Age Continental Drift were both taken out of this movie, which are like Sid's grandma doesn't make a return. Um, just like previously mentioned, Scrat doesn't make a return, which is weird. Um, Peaches, Manny and Nelly's daughter, doesn't return, and nor does her husband Julian, nor does he return. So, I mean, yeah. Do I hate this movie? No, I don't. I think it's fine. It ain't the greatest. It is not without its issues, but it does have some pros with it. I actually liked it. It's my least favorite Blue Sky film, if you count it as a Blue Sky film, which I am, but still. Sorry about that, y'all. But yeah, y'all, I mean, sorry about that, y'all. That was just my stepdad in the background. So yeah, y'all, I mean, The Ice Age Adventures of Buck Wild, decent movie, at best. It's decent. I enjoyed it. It's my least favorite Ice Age film, but it's got some enjoyable parts to it. Um, but yeah, it's got some enjoyable parts to it, but you guys know what I'm trying to say. If it counts as a Blue Sky film, it's not as good as any of the other films that I'm going to be talking about in this video. So yeah, number 15 is The Adventures of Buck Wild, and I will be probably giving this movie a 6.5 out of 10. Not bad, just average. Decent, at best. 6.5 out of 10 sounds like a pretty good idea. Alright, now on to number 14. Yep, that's right, y'all. On to number 14 in the ranking. Sorry about that, y'all. Now, on to number 14 in the ranking. Now, on to number 14, we're going to stick with Ice Age because my number 14th place on my ranking of Blue Sky films is Ice Age Collusion Course. Now, this movie... Hold on a second, y'all. Now, in this movie, Ice Age Collusion Course, my thoughts on this movie, it's decent. I actually didn't mind it. Don't hurt me! It's just my opinion. Don't hurt me. But I actually didn't mind this movie. It's, not the greatest movie, but it does have its moments. I actually liked it. Now, in this movie, an asteroid is coming, because as we all know, the Ice Age films are about prehistoric animals, like woolly mammoths, sloths, saber-toothed tigers, opossums, and all that, and all of them, and weasels, and all of them. But in this movie, an asteroid, aka a meteor, is coming towards Earth, and the herd is worried about possibly dying. So yeah, that's the story of this movie. But one of my flaws with this movie is that the jokes in this movie don't really make no sense. And there are some jokes that do work. There's some jokes that do work, in my opinion, but they don't really make sense because there's pop culture references, but you're supposed to be in the prehistoric times. It's weird, I know, y'all. Let me know in the comment section if y'all think it's weird too. So yeah. And also, the plot to this movie is also Peaches, Manny and Ellie's daughter, is getting married to another woolly mammoth, that being Julian. Julian, who's an underrated character. A lot of people hate him. I don't find him that annoying. I find him to be pretty cool. But still. And of course, we have Diego and Shira's subplot about having kids. And that was handled pretty well. Not bad, but pretty well. And of course, this all happened because Scrap being in outer space. That causes the meteor / the asteroid to come towards Earth in the movie. But yeah. And Manny's character arc is to let Peaches go. Somewhat similar to in the fourth film, Continental Drift, but still. And basically, also in this movie, it's Manny and Ellie's wedding anniversary. So that was pretty cool to see, I thought. And this was Buck's return after Dawn of the Dinosaurs and not making only making a short cameo in the fourth movie, Continental Drift. Which Buck's a fun character, y'all. Spoiler down the list, Buck's a fun character. And in this movie, Sid, who's one of my favorite characters from the Ice Age films, gets a girlfriend named Brooke, who's actually pretty good. Who's a pretty good singer, because at the end of this movie, she sings a very good song called "My Superstar." Pretty cool. And of course, these villains in this movie is 3 dino birds that want revenge on Buck. They're not the best Ice Age villains, but they're still pretty cool. And of course, we go to and of course, the whole gang goes to Geotopia, a place called Geotopia, and that's where Sid meets Brooke, and that's where all they meet. That's where Granny meets a bunny who she thinks is her boyfriend, and also that's where they meet the Shamalama, where if the meteors are taken apart, they turn from young to old. So yeah. Now this Ice Age movie is actually the first Ice Age film to have that dance party ending. Because if you guys remember, there's a lot of people that there's a lot of backlash about about dance party endings at the ending of anime movies after 2001's DreamWorks film Shrek. So yeah, this was the first one to have a dance party ending. Since the previous two films, Dawn of the Dinosaurs from 2009 and Continental Drift from 2012, had dancing during the end credits. But in this one, they actually end on a dance party before we get a Neil deGrasse Neil the Buck Weasel cameo at the ending. So yeah. Now, what's my ranking for this movie? I'm going to give this one a solid 7 out of 10. Still a very good movie, y'all. I know a lot of people hate it, but it's still a very good movie, in my opinion. It ain't the best Ice Age film, but I still really liked it. It's pretty enjoyable. I liked it. I just said my positives with the film, and it was pretty. But my main issue was, why is there modern references in a prehistoric world? That's weird. But then again, and something that I forgot to mention when Seth and I did Fall Out Boy on Music Talk, is that there's a scene where Julian, Peach's fiance turned husband, is singing a Fall Out Boy song, that being Light 'Em Up, which he did pretty good, but how do you know that song? You're in the prehistoric times. This is kind of weird. But yeah, like I said, I'm going to give Ice Age 5 Collusion Course a solid 7 out of 10. So now, on to the next one. Number 13. Now, as for number 13, all I gotta say is, you guys ever thought of a bull that likes to smell flowers instead of fight? Well, this movie is about that. When this movie is the 2017 movie Ferdinand. Now, my thoughts on this movie, again, pretty cool, and it's a pretty good movie. I mean, John Cena does a great job as the voice of Ferdinand, and yeah. One second, y'all. And this movie is actually based off of a book that was shown in the 2009 movie, that being The Blind Side, which is a very good movie, by the way. But anyway, back to Ferdinand, which is also a very good movie. And it's also based off of a Disney cartoon from way back when, which is also a very cute cartoon. Very good, cute cartoon. And this movie actually does have a Life Alert reference in it, just like Pixar's Cars 3, which also came out in the same year, 2017. Which, of course, Cars 3 is an awesome movie, in my opinion, as y'all know. So, yeah. And, of course, like I said, this story about this movie is about a bull who just likes to smell the flowers instead of fight. So, yeah. And, like I said, John Cena does a great job. I mean, all the voice acting in all these movies are very good. So, yeah. And the heart of this movie is basically Nina, aka the girl who adopts Ferdinand, and Ferdinand's relationship. It's very heartwarming, y'all. And of course, we also have pretty cool and pretty funny hedgehog characters, Uno, Dulce, and Quato. And spoiler, in the mid-credit scene, we see Thriss in the post-credit scene. And it's also pretty cool how Blue Sky decided to do a Western-themed movie with this movie. So, yeah. It's also pretty cool. And of course, we also have German horses in this movie as well. So, and they were pretty cool. They're pretty cool in this movie. So yeah. And also, there's a character in this movie who's a goat, and she kind of reminds me of Rico from the DreamWorks franchise Madagascar, which actually which because she throws up almost everything. So yeah, that's pretty cool to know as well. So yeah, Ferdinand. Yeah, it may not be the best Blue Sky film, hence why it's just number 13. But I'd still really enjoyed it, and I thought it was very good. And it's very good. It's very entertaining. It's a very cool movie, and yeah, I highly recommend all of these actually. But anyway, and for Ferdinand, I'm gonna give this one a solid 8 out of 10. So 8 out of 10. So yeah, on to the next one. Number 12. Yep, that's right, y'all. Number 12. Now this number 12, we're going back to Blue Sky's most popular and flagship franchise with because number 12 is Ice Age 4: Continental Drift. A very good movie. May not be the best out of the Ice Age films, but it's still very good. Just try and look over my notes here. If you all hear paper rattling in the background. Okay. Now, this movie, Ice Age 4: Continental Drift, it's a very good movie, y'all, but it's not as good as the first three movies, but it's still very good. Mostly because it's a bit too similar to Ice Age: The Meltdown from 2006. But similar doesn't mean bad. So, yeah. And this one, this is when we finally get to teenage Peaches, Manny and Ellie's daughter, as a teenager who, yeah. And like I said when I was talking about Ice Age Collusion Course, in this one, Manny pretty much goes through the same character arc as he did in that movie. So yeah. And also, it's crazy how Peaches, one of Peaches' best friends, a Mohawk named Lewis, is voiced by Josh Gad. Just 1 year before he voiced Olaf in a Disney Ice themed movie, Frozen. So yeah, I mean, and he did a great job, obviously. And this movie has a cool villain, y'all, with Captain Gut, who's a very cool villain, like I said, and he he's well voiced by Peter Dinklage. So yeah, I know I say so yeah a lot in my videos, but still. And it's also cool that in this movie, we also get to see Sid's family. So we get to see Sid's parents, and mostly we get to see Sid's grandmother, who stays with him throughout the rest of the movie because Sid's parents and his uncle and I guess his little brother ditch him and all that. Basically because Sid already found his family with Manny, Diego, Ellie, Crash, and Eddie, and Peaches. So yeah. But this one, Crash and Eddie are barely in this one. They're in it. They're in this movie, but they're barely in this movie, which is not a bad thing. But yeah, I mean, Crash and Eddie are pretty cool characters. They're not my favorite characters in this franchise, but they're still awesome. Don't get me wrong; they're flawless characters. So yeah, in my opinion. And of course, this this basically this basically this film, Ice Age Continental Drift, basically has pirates, and that's where Captain Gut comes in. Captain Gut is the villain of the movie, like I said earlier, and he is the captain of the crew. So, and there's like iceberg pirates because they used iceberg as a ship, which is a pretty cool idea. Yeah, and this is the second animated movie that had pirates in it back in 2012 after Sony and Armin's had Pirates Band of Misfits or Pirates The Adventures of Scientists, which is I've never seen that movie at the time of this recording. I've never seen that movie yet, but still. And it's pretty cool. At the ending of this movie, Scrat goes to Scratlantis with a which is somewhat similar to the ending of the second movie where he goes to Acorn Heaven. So, and we also get to see this other Scrat who's voiced by Patrick Stewart. So, yeah, that's cool to see. And one of the pirates ends up being Diego's girlfriend, Shira, well voiced by Jennifer Lopez. So, yeah, I mean, she's a great character too. She's pretty cool. And she kind of did, and Shira kind of goes to the same character arc that Diego did in the original Ice Age from 2002. And I thought this movie was not made by Disney. I'm just joking. I say that mostly because Captain Gut, aka the villain of this movie, gets a villain song in this movie. So, and that's usually associated with regular Disney movies. Even though now this can consider a Disney movie since Disney owns Ice Age basically now. So, yeah. And this is the last Blue Sky film to use the old Blue Sky logo, which is the Blue Sky logo that doesn't have Scrat in it. So, yeah, kind of sad, but I mean, I like both logos of Blue Sky. So, yeah. Now, Ice Age Continental Drift, like I said, it's a great movie, y'all. It may not be as great as the first three, but it's still a great movie regardless. It's a very great movie. And that's why I'm going to give this movie a solid 8.5 out of 10. So, yeah, 8.5 out of 10 for Ice Age 4 Continental Drift. A very good movie, just not as good as the first three, like I said. So, without further ado, let's move on to the next one. Oh, but before we move on, I forgot to tell you guys that in this movie, Ice Age 4 Continental Drift, there's actually sirens that make an appearance, and that was a pretty cool scene. And there's also very giant creatures like a crab and Precious the whale and all that. And in this one, Manny, Sid, and Diego and Sid's grandma are separated from the rest of the herd, and they have to get back. And when they're about to get back, that's where they encounter the pirates, led by Captain Gut. So yeah, and at the beginning of this movie, spoiler alert, Buck and Rudy make a cameo. Now, just a cameo. It's not like Dawn of Dinosaurs or Collusion Course where they actually appear. Well, Buck does in Collusion Course. Rudy doesn't. But also Buck's sword also makes an appearance in this movie as well. So yeah. And Sid's grandma is probably one of the funniest characters in this movie. I thought she was pretty funny, well voiced by Wanda Sykes. And also, speaking of back to Manny's character arc in this movie, it's kind of similar to Marlin's character arc in Pixar's Finding Nemo, which of course is another great movie. So yeah. And and this is actually the and this is what a lot of people think is the actual first Ice Age film where Scrat interacts with the rest of the gang, when that's actually not the truth because he interacted with the rest of the gang in the first film. So yeah, like I said, Ice Age Collusion Course, Very good movie. Again, may not be as great as the first three, but still very good. And like I said, I'll give it a solid 8.5 out of 10. So yeah, an 8.5 out of 10. So yeah, now on to the next one. Now for this next one, all I gotta say is, let me tell you, Rio, Rio, violation like an eagle, Zigo, and we can shook it like a Zigo, Zigo, oh, la la la. Probably butchered that, didn't I? Anyway, the next one is number 11. Yeah, I already told y'all what number 11 is on this list. I already told y'all what it is. It's Rio. Yeah, this is a very good movie, y'all. I mean, it's a very good movie. I'm just gonna give y'all my ranking already. I'm gonna give this a solid 9.5 out of 10. So yeah, 9.5 out of 10. I love this movie, y'all. Don't get me wrong. I kind of prefer the sequel. I know I'm the minority for that, but still, this is Blue Sky's first musical, y'all, and the songs are unbelievably great, despite being interrupted at some parts. But still, they're still great. And there's very cute relationships with Blue with his owner Linda, and Blue and Jewel. So yeah, which Blue and Jewel are on the same mission in this movie as Manny and Ellie were in the second Ice Age film, which is to save their species. And like I just said, the songs in this movie are awesome. I mean, I Want to Party, the Nigel song, All the Birds, the beginning song, and the song I just sung earlier in this video, the Take You to Rio song, which is a beautiful song. So yeah, very awesome song. And this is a story about a bird that cannot fly until the end. Spoiler alert. But still, and it's still pretty cool how and it's still pretty cool how and it's still a pretty funny joke at the beginning of this movie that said Rio at first, and then when they go to Minnesota, they say not Rio in parentheses. That's pretty funny. That's where we also get whoop, there it is. Banging it, the one of the two movies I've heard that song in. The first one being Elf, the other one being Elf from 2003. So yeah. And just like Ice Age, just like how the team at Blue Sky um went to study up on prehistoric animals for Ice Age, they went to Rio, Brazil, to study up on for research on Rio. So yeah, and yeah, and basically this movie is about a Blue McCall named Blue who can't fly, mostly because he was never learned to fly because he was adopted by a woman named Linda. And but then they moved from Minnesota to Rio to for so Blue can meet a female Blue McCall named Jewel, and so they can save their species, like in Manny and Ellie in Ice Age 2 Meltdown, like I said. And this movie basically resembles the studio of Blue Sky, since there's a lot of scenes in this movie where the characters go up in the sky, and the main character's name is Blue. Kind of coincidence, I know, but it's pretty cool. And this is the movie that you should watch if you're a fan of birds. If you're a fan of birds, then Rio, this very good, awesome movie right here, is a movie you should watch. And one of my favorite characters from this movie is actually Louise the Bulldog, voiced by Tracy Morgan. Pretty cool. And also Cheese and Sprinkles, um, being a thing in this movie, basically like oh my god type deal. So it's a Minnesota thing. And something that happened in RL about Blue McCalls after this movie. So Blue Macaws originally went extinct, but then they came back after this movie, I think. Put it down in the comment section if y'all know what I'm trying to talk about. But this movie has some of the most colorful animation I've ever seen in any movie, y'all. It's awesome. So yeah, Rio, great movie. And then, like I said, I'll give it a solid 9.5 out of 10. So yeah, on to the next one. Number 10. Yep, that's right, y'all. Number 10. All I gotta say for number 10, it's the sequel to the last movie we talked about in this video. That, of course, being Rio 2. Don't hurt me, y'all. Don't hurt me. It's just my opinion. I love the first Rio film. Don't get me wrong, y'all. I think it's a great movie. But I kind of prefer Rio 2. Just my opinion, just a little bit. Not a lot. I still really like both movies. Don't get me wrong. And in this one, Jewel and Blue have kids. I mean, they had kids in the ending of the first film, but now their kids have bigger roles. With one boy and two girls, I think. And yeah. And in this one, Jewel, Blue, Pedro, Nico, Raphael, and all of them, they're going to the Amazon in this movie, and that's where we meet Jewel's father and Jewel's childhood friend. So there's a lot more Blue Macaws in this one than there was in the first film. And yeah, there's a kind of an environmental message in this one. So yeah, that's pretty cool because there's a villain that wants to cut down all the trees in the forest in the Amazon jungle. But so it's up to Blue, Jewel, and the rest of the gang to stop him. And and it's nice to see Linda and Blue still getting along in this movie as well. Spoiler alert. And now Linda and Tulio, who's a guy I forgot to mention while talking about the first Rio, married now in this movie. And Nigel, who's a villain from the first film, comes back in this one, and he's got a frog companion named Gabby. But yeah. And the songs, this is still a musical, y'all. So the songs, they're awesome, y'all. They're all awesome. And this time, none of them are interrupted. That's my one minor nitpick with the original Rio film. The songs were awesome, but they're kind of interrupted. But still cool. And of course, we have Roboto. I'm trying to say it right. Roboto, who's Jules' childhood friend, voiced by the pop singer Bruno Mars. So yeah, it's pretty cool. And he's probably might be my favorite new character in this Rio franchise. So yeah, it's pretty cool. And this is basically the jungle versus the humans in this movie. Like I said, it's got an environmental message. So yeah. And Big Boss, aka the villain who wants to take down the forest, likes lollipops a lot. And then, spoiler alert, he gets eaten by a snake. So, and Louise, the bulldog, is still a funny character. And yeah. And we also have an audition. We also have a subplot with Pedro, Nico, and Raphael doing an audition for a talent show in the Amazon, and that was pretty cool to see. And so yeah, like I said, Rio 2, awesome underrated sequel. I think it's a very good movie. I mean, and that's why I'm going to give it the highest rating I can give a movie, and that is of course a 10 out of 10. I'm probably the only one on the internet that thinks that way, but like I said, this is my opinion. So yeah, Rio 2 is just number 10. So yeah, and that's why and I give it a 10 out of 10. So yeah. Now, as for our next movie we're going to be talking about in this video, all I gotta say is I'm a freak of nature, baby. Too close to Deja, baby. If you've seen the movie, you know why I'm referencing. So yeah, so the next one, so now moving on to the next one, which is number 9. Yep, y'all. Number 9 is Spies in Disguise. Now, as a guy who loves spy movies, thanks to Pixar's Cars 2, I love this movie. I think it's a great movie. I mean, Will Smith and Tom Harlan as the voice of Walter Bucket and Lance Sterling, both did a great job. Both did a great job. And like I said, I love spy movies, y'all. Thanks to Cars 2, I love spy movies. And the chemistry between these two characters are very good. And this is Will Smith's first animated film since DreamWorks' Shark Tale back in 2004. So yeah. And this is kind of like a spy movie intro and action. It's very cool. It's very well choreographed and all that. So yeah. And of course, it's another intimidating villain. It's an intimidating villain in this movie, y'all. He's a very intimidating villain, just like Captain Gut from Ice Age 4 Continental Drift. Because it's like half of him is like cyber almost. I mean, yeah, I do see some similarities between this film and another one of my favorite Disney movies, that being Emperor's New Groove. But like I said earlier in this video, similar doesn't mean bad. Like I said when I was talking about Ice Age 4 Continental Drift. So yeah. And Lance in this movie gets framed from a murder, I guess. And like I said, the rest of the cast, they all did a great job. Reba McEntire, Reseda Jones, very cool. And the story, the story is that Lance gets turned into a bird and teams up with Walter, kind of like Emperor's New Groove, like I said, which is a great Disney movie. And of course, Walter is a science nerd, so he loves science, and that's how he turns Lance into a pigeon, a bird. And this is the last official Blue Sky Studios film before they got shut down by Disney, which is a shame, but still. So yeah, Spies in Disguise, great movie. It's a great movie, and you guessed it, I'm going to also give this movie another 10 out of 10. Another 10 out of 10. So yeah, y'all, I mean, Spies in Disguise, awesome movie. Okay, now for our next movie, it's going to be epic, which I already just told y'all. Well, moving on to number 8. Yeah, but I already told y'all what number 8 is. It's epic. Now, when I first saw this movie, y'all, I thought it was meh. I thought it was just okay. Sorry, y'all, if you hear, I'm just looking at my notes as I'm talking to y'all about these movies. But anyway, this might be, but then as I watched it from the beginning, I actually love it now. I think it's a very good movie. And this might be the darkest Blue Sky film. It has a lot of dark elements, like the villain of the movie being Mandrake. He was a very cool villain, and another intimidating villain. And it's based off of a book. Kind of like another Blue Sky film that we'll get to, and it's actually from the same author as the next Blue Sky film that we're going to get to, that being William Joyce. But yeah, I used to rank this movie as 6 out of 10, but now you guys guessed it, another 10 out of 10 from Blue Sky. From me. And also in this movie, spoiler alert, also you get to see an Ice Age acorn Easter egg. If you look closely, MK's dad, who MK is the main character of this movie, who gets shrunken down, and we get to see the Leaf Man and all that. And MK's dad is the one who explores the Leaf Man, and he actually has a prop of the acorn from Ice Age in this movie. So it's very cool. And their pet pug named Ozzy, I thought he was cute. I thought he was very cute, even though he's got only 3 legs, but still very cute, very charming, and very likable. Yeah. And in my opinion, this movie is like Ferngully. Ferngully, the last rainforest, which is an okay movie. I actually prefer Epic. That's my opinion. So yeah, like I said, I had to get used to this movie, um, because when I first saw it, I thought it was meh. So I give it a 6 out of 10 at first, but now I rank it a 10 out of 10. Like I said, and Mub and Grub. Oh boy, those two characters, Mub and Grub, they are hilarious in this movie. They are some of Blue Sky's most funniest characters. So yeah, and also this movie has nice animation, and I'm taking really nice animation. The forest looks great, just like looks as great as it does in Rio 2. So yeah, and it's a very creative world that they built for this movie, and it is creative world building. Basically, is what I'm trying to say. Like another William Joyce Blue Sky film, and yeah, and this is the story of the Leaf Man and the Pod. So basically, it's based off the Leaf Man story. So this is the point of view of little people, kind of like Honey We Shrunk Ourselves in a way too. And there's a lot of dark humor in this movie, y'all. So be aware of that if you guys ever get a chance to watch this awesome, epic, no pun intended, movie. So yeah, and this is Blue Sky's first movie with their new logo with Scrat from the Ice Age films in the middle of it. In the middle of it, and just like the other Blue Sky films, this movie has great, and I repeat, great relationships between the characters. Like great heart is what I'm saying. It's a great movie, y'all. It's very great, and like I said, I give it a 10 out of 10. So yeah, I give it a 10 out of 10. Now, as for the next one, now this next one is another movie that's not really Blue Sky, but I'm counting it anyways because it's half Blue Sky. So yes, on to the next one. Number 7. Yep, on to number 7. Now, number 7 is not officially done by Blue Sky, but it is. But it was a good chunk of it was created by Blue Sky, so I'm counting it here. And that film is Nimona. Now, this movie is very good, y'all. If you guys have Netflix, I definitely recommend it, y'all. It's a very great movie. And and independent pictures, or however you say it. I don't know what I'll put the name of the studio right here, but Annapurna Pictures actually finished it when Blue Sky started it, so I'm going to count it still. And it's kind of like a medieval theme where a knight teams up with a shapeshifter who's voiced by Chloe Grace Moretz, who does a great job, just like the rest of the cast. And also, this knight is gay. Sorry to say it, y'all, but the knight in this movie is gay. So which is not a bad thing. I mean, I'm not gay myself, but I don't have a problem with gay people. So yeah, and like I said, and just like Spies in the Skies, this also just like Lance Sterling and Spies in the Skies, this knight gets framed for murder of the Queen, and teams up with a shapeshifter, and this, just like Epic, And the next film I think that we're going to talk about is based off of a novel, based off of a book. So yeah, that's pretty cool to say. And Ballister is the name of the knight, and of course Nimona is the name of the shapeshifter. And the relationship between the two characters is very good and very well developed. And I was gonna do a review of this movie on my fourth channel, but I just decided to just talk about it here instead in this video. And yes, since there's a gay couple in it, there's a same-sex kiss scene. There's a same-sex kiss scene. And this was released only 1 year after Pixar's Lightyear, which also has a gay couple in it, and also a great movie, an underrated movie. And before Blue Sky shut down, it was going to be released in the year of 2022, but then it ended up being released in 2023 on Netflix. So yeah, Nimona, very great movie. And like I said, I give it a 10 out of 10. Just like, again, I probably give all these next movies a 10 out of 10. So yeah. Now this next one is, again, another one that's based off of a book, and that I kind of had a roller coaster relationship with. I'll tell you guys about it after this. I'll tell you guys about it when we get to it. So, moving on to number 6. Yep, that's right, y'all. Number 6. Now, this number 6 movie is also based off of a book. Again, that's paper. That's my notes, if you guys didn't know. Now, this movie also is based off of a book, but and it's also by the same author as the book that was released. That did the book that Epic was based off of, and that movie is the 2005 movie Robots. So yeah, this movie, I have a roller coaster of relationship with this movie, because when I was younger, I loved it, and as I got older, I thought it was okay. But as I got older, like now, I love it again. I pretty much love it again. It's very good. It has a lot of adult jokes, and it's very funny. And even it's got a reference to Scarface in this movie as well. And Sid makes a cameo Sid from Ice Age makes a cameo in this movie as a robot, which is cool. And just like Epic, this movie has creative role building. So yeah. A lot of people compared this movie to Cars, which I can almost understand, but I love this movie as much as Cars, pretty much. I think it's a great movie. But yeah. And like I said, just like the others, this movie has a great soundtrack. So yeah, and rest in peace to Robin Williams, who voiced Fender in this movie. So yeah, and Fender was always my favorite character in this movie. So yeah, like as I say a lot. And just like the others, this one has a great cast. Not only we got Robin Williams, the late Robin Williams, we also had Amanda Bynes, Halle Berry, Greg Kinnear, Hugh Greger, and Drew Carey, and Mel Brooks. So yeah, got a lot of great actors and actresses in this movie. So it's a very good movie. There's even a Rock'em Sock'em reference in this movie. And pretty much Rock'em Sock'em is a movie in this universe of this movie. It's pretty cool. And this movie, just like a lot of movies, has great heart to it. Has great heart. Sorry, I'm looking at my notes. That's why if you guys hear any paper routing in this video, I'm looking at my notes. And this basically has a follow your dreams type storyline with Rodney Copperbottom, who's a robot voiced by Hugh Greger, who dreams about becoming an inventor. And he invents a machine called Wonderbot. And yeah. And yeah. And it has something on updates, because the villain Radget, voiced by Greg Kinnear, wants to update all the out modes and turn them into new robots and all that, because his mother, Madame Gasket, burns robots and turns it into melts them down and turns it into something else. As another character known as Piper said in this video, said in this movie, um, and basically when basically Rodney goes to goes to a city called Robot City and meets the Rusties, which one of the Rusties is Fender, voiced by the late Robin Williams. This is one of his best roles, in my opinion. So yeah, and also there's a reference to a great classic movie known as Wizard of Oz. So, because there's a Tin Man at the end of this movie that says, spoiler, it says, I sure got a heart because it's aching. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And there's one scene in this movie that'll be great as an amusement park ride, and that's the Crest Orange Express. Well, actually, ooh boy. So yeah, that scene. I don't know why, but that scene, it will be great as a amusement park ride. So any amusement park employees watching this video, get down to it. It will be pretty cool if you guys ever seen this movie, Robots. So yeah, and there's even a Star Wars joke in this movie because because there's a character named Diesel who puts a voice box in, and you hear Darth Vader going, "The Force is strong with this one." So it's very cool. And there's other great jokes as well. And there's other great jokes in this movie as well. And and there's also sequel potential to this movie. I actually think this movie will be pretty good for a sequel if Blue Sky didn't get shut down by Disney. So yeah, this movie will be pretty good for a sequel. There's even a singing in the rain joke when Fender is basically singing in the oil instead of singing in the rain. Pretty funny. And just like Ice Age Collusion Course, this movie also has a dance party ending. Which, again, like I said when I was talking about that movie, it was a trend for a lot of anime movies after the 2001 DreamWorks movie, Shrek. So, yeah. And there's even a WWE joke, I think, with Lug at the ending of the climax wrestling all these robots and all that. It's pretty cool. And also at the ending of this movie, that's where we get the reference of Scarface. And like I said, when I was younger, I loved this movie. And as I got older, I thought it was okay. Mostly because I thought the animation looked so similar to Roly Poly Oly, that Disney Junior show. But it turns out that the reason why they look similar is because of the fact that it's from the same people as Roly Poly Oly. So yeah. So yeah, I mean, Robots, great movie. I used to rank it a 10 out of 10. Then I ranked it a 6 out of 10. Now I'm back to a 10 out of 10 for this movie. So yeah. Now for the next one. Now for this next one, all I gotta say is it's Blue Sky's most popular movie that grew into their flagship franchise back in March of 2002. And that movie is number 5. Now, as for number 5, which is the next one, I already gave y'all a hint of what it is, and that is, of course, Blue Sky's first ever movie, that, of course, being the original, the great Ice Age. Great movie. Now, with this movie, this is what started off the debut of Scrat, who's the squirrel/rat hybrid that chases the acorn in this entire franchise, except for the spinoff, obviously, which is kind of weird, but still. And this is what and I love this movie, y'all. I mean, yes, the animation in this movie might be a little dated, but that's early computer animation for you. And it still looks awesome, regardless. So yeah, And there's a lot of found family tropes in movies, and Ice Age is probably the one who started it. So yeah, it's great. It's a great continue. It's a great gateway into found family, because this we start off with Manny, a lonely mammoth, or Manfred as he's called in this movie, um, as a lonely mammoth who lost his family due to hunters, and he meets a sloth named Sid and a saber-toothed tiger named Diego, and they both get attacked. And they both get a task to look after a human baby. Yeah, and so they all three of them must return the baby, whose name is Roshan, whose name is Roshan, to his back to his family. So yeah, it's kind of like two men and a baby, but animated. That's what Ice Age is kind of like. And meanwhile, and while doing that, Manny, Sid, and Diego and the baby, they become like a family. That's why it's the found family trope. That's one of the reasons why I love this movie. It's a great movie. And you guys know what I'm going to give it: a 10 out of 10. So, yeah, despite the animation being a little dated, I still love the animation. I still love this whole entire movie as a whole. So, yeah. And also, the Manny and Sid's relationship in this movie is kind of like Shrek and Donkey's relationship, kind of. I'll be ranking the DreamWorks films later on in the future, y'all. So yeah, it's kind of like that in a way, y'all. When one doesn't like the other, but then grows to love it, and one of them's being green. That's funny, you know. And basically, Diego goes from being a bad guy to a good guy in this movie, because Diego is from a whole herd full of saber-tooth tigers led by the villain of the movie, Soto, who's a very cool villain. And he and Sid was left behind by his family, who will finally meet in the fourth movie, Continental Drift. So yeah, and this is the only film in the Ice Age franchise, the only feature film that is, because the Christmas special had this, the only film where the humans appear as actual humans instead of a drawing like in the spinoff. So yeah. Until the spinoff, that is. And also, if you guys remember the TriStar film Matilda from 1996, a song from that movie also plays in the first Ice Age film, which is that on my way, to reach on my hand, wanna sell, oh Matilda, was same really young. Well, how we like to love my hand, or how are you sing it? You guys know what I'm saying. And also, there's a very cool scene where Manny, Sid, Diego, and the baby Roshan are having fun on ice slides. So I thought that was a cool scene. It looked fun to me. So when Diego says the line, "Yeah, woo, yeah, who's up for round two?" Yeah, that's what I would have been saying too. And of course, this movie has an all-star cast: Ray Romano, John Uzombo, Dennis Leary, and a plethora of others. So yeah. And also, there's a Star Trek reference in this movie as well, because when Baby Roshaw sees the UFO, he goes bye, and he just started doing this with his hand. How ironic that both Pixar and Blue Sky both started off with a movie that references Star Trek, because in Toy Story, Pixar's first movie, Buzz Lightyear did that to Woody, which I might talk about when I rank the Pixar films, which is going to be hard for me, as you guys know. So yeah. And also, there's in the ice sliding scene, Sid throws a reference to another classic movie from 1997, that being Titanic, which is an alright movie. And there's a lot of heart and death in this movie. And I'm talking, like, there's extreme peril in this movie, y'all. If you guys seen Ice Age, you guys know what I'm talking about. There's a lot of extreme peril, and Soto's defeat, Soto's death, is very, very, very pretty dark. I mean, that's why they cut away from it anyway. That's why icicles hit him. Spoiler alert, and all that. So yeah, and also they were originally going to have Diego die at the end of this movie, but the test audience, who were mainly children, didn't like that ending. So they brought Diego back. So yeah, Ice Age, like I said, great movie. Give it a 10 out of 10. So yeah. So yeah, now as for the next movie, all I gotta say for this next movie is a person a person's a person, no matter how small. Number 4. Yep, that's right, y'all. Number 4. Now number 4, all I gotta say for number 4, like I said, a person's a person, no matter how small. So yeah, number 4 is Dr. Seuss's how Dr. Seuss's Horton Hears a Who. Now this one is an underrated, awesome movie. It's an awesome movie based off of pretty much my favorite Dr. Seuss story, and this is also my favorite Dr. Seuss adaptation. I might rank the Dr. Seuss adaptations in the future. So yeah, this is the only Dr. Seuss film that Blue Sky made. So yeah, they were going to do a sequel. They were going to do Horton Hatches the Egg, but then they lost the rights to Dr. Seuss. And this is not the only. And of course, this movie stars Jim Carrey as the voice of Horton, and Steve Carell as the voice of the mayor of Whoville, Ned McDonald. Ned McDonald. And this is the second time Jim Carrey has played a Dr. Seuss character after playing the Grinch in the Ron Howard How the Grinch Stole Christmas from 2000. And of course, you guys already know that this movie is based off of a book. You guys already know that because Dr. Seuss is one of the most popular authors, was one of the most popular authors to date. So, you know. And of course, it's also based off a TV special that's actually as great as this 2008 computer animated movie by Blue Sky. So yeah, like I said, this is my favorite Dr. Seuss story, and like I said, it stars Jim Carrey, Steve Carell, and plethora of other actors and actresses. But in this movie, it's actually the first time since Bruce Almighty from 2003 that Jim Carrey and Steve Carell were in a movie together, which are both very good movies, obviously. And in my opinion, this is the best Dr. Seuss adaptation we got. Like I said, and like I said, I might rank the Dr. Seuss movies in the future. Yeah, and apparently, of course, this is the story of a elephant who talks to a clover that has a speck on it, and in the speck is a whole world full of Who's called Whoville, as we all know. And this is and also it also has Will Arnett in it. This being the second time. We'll get to the first time. As the next with the next movie, this is the second time that Will Arnett voiced a vulture in a Blue Sky film. So yeah. And there's even an anime sequence in this movie as well, which I thought was pretty cool. And there's a Who Sky mug, which Who Sky is basically a parody of Blue Sky, I think. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And at the ending of this movie, all the Who's and all the people in the jungle knew the jungle Newell and the Who's in the Whoville, they all start singing a cover of R.O. Speedwagon song, I Can't Fight This Feeling Anymore, which might be my favorite R.O. Speedwagon song. But yeah, this movie is underrated, and I love this movie. This movie, Horton Hears a Who, is the best Dr. Seuss adaptation, and that's why I'm going to rank it, again, another 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. And plus, it also has other cast members like Jonah Hill, Seth Rogen, Amy Poehler, Ca- Carol Burnett, and Joey King or something like that, and and the aforementioned Will Arnett. So yeah, it's awesome, you guys. I mean, it's if you guys are a fan of the book and the TV series, I highly recommend watching this adaptation of Horton Hears a Who. It's a great movie, y'all. Now, moving on to the next one. Number 3. Yep, now we're on to number 3, y'all. Now number 3 is the other time that the other time that that Will Arnett voiced a vulture in a Blue Sky film. That of course being Ice Age 2: The Meltdown. Yes, great movie. And this is another underrated movie because I think a lot of people get overshadowed by either the first or the third movie, but still, this movie is awesome, y'all. I mean, I give it a 10 out of 10 as well. So, I give it a 10 out of 10 as well. And basically this movie has two types of plots. As one plot where the characters had to escape a flood, because in this movie, the subtitle says it all. The ice is melting, and Manny, Sid, and Diego, and the new characters Ellie and Crash and Eddie need to evacuate before the ice melts. And of course, also Manny meets Ellie, and Ellie thinks she's a possum in this movie because she was raised by possums. And so basically, Manny and Ellie become a couple in this movie to save their species. Because a lot of characters in this movie think that Manny and Ellie might be the last two members on Earth. But then we find out, spoiler alert, in the ending of the movie, we find out that that's not the case. Never mind that in the background, y'all. And just like Blue and Jewel did for Blue McCalls in Rio. And it's funny how both Blue Sky and Pixar, both of their third movies, are sequels to their first movies. Because Pixar's third movie was Toy Story 2, which is a sequel to their first movie, Toy Story, which is a great franchise. Hint, hint to my next video. And also Ice Age 2: The Meltdown. This is the third Blue Sky film, and that's a sequel to and this is a sequel to Blue Sky's first movie, Ice Age. So that's pretty cool to think about. And this is actually the third fully computer animated sequel after Toy Story 2 from Pixar and Shrek 2 from DreamWorks, which I love all three of them, obviously. And of course, we also have this touching backstory. We also have this touching backstory that's as emotional as Manny's backstory in the first Ice Age film, with Ellie, where we find out that Ellie was adopted by possums, and that's why she thinks she's a possum. And I think both of those two backstories from Manny in the first film and Ellie in the second film, I think they're both emotional and they're both touching. They're both beautiful backstories. So yeah. And yes, Ellie is the same name as the girl in the Pixar film Up from 2009. The Pixar film Up. Excuse me. And plus, there's subplot where Sid is teaching Diego how to swim, because Diego is a saber-tooth tiger, which is a type of cat. Diego is a saber-tooth tiger, which is a type of cat, and cats are usually afraid of water. So yeah. And of course, there's a scene where all these vultures start singing "Food, Glorious Food" from Oliver, which I've never seen Oliver at the time of this recording, but still, I might. because of this movie. I might. So yeah, I mean, and also at the end of this movie, kind of like Scratlantis and Ice Age 4 Continental Drift, in this movie, Ice Age 2 The Meltdown, Scrat goes to Acorn Heaven. And yeah, and it's kind of like that, but then Sid gives Scrat the kiss of life, waking Scrat up because it was just all a dream for Scrat. But yeah, Ice Age 2 Meltdown, this movie right here, awesome movie. It's a great movie, and I give it another 10 out of 10. Another 10 out of 10. Blue Sky is one of my favorite studios, y'all. That's why I'm doing this video. So yeah, now on to the next one. Number 2. Now, as for number 2 on this list, all I gotta say is all I gotta say is yeah, that's right, y'all. Number 2 on my list of Blue Sky films. This one's for you, Evan, the new Marvel creator. And number 2 on this list is the Peanuts movie. Now this movie is awesome, y'all. Again, yet another 10 out of 10. And it's pretty cool. Basically, in this movie, Charlie Brown is trying to impress a little red hair girl at school, but he gets embarrassed because and so because he starts blushing every single time, and he can't talk to her. So he gets advice from Lucy. He does a book report for her, and a lot more. And it was nice. Spoiler: it was nice at the beginning of this movie. Schroeder, playing the 20th Century Fox Dame at the beginning of this movie. That was pretty cool. Also, Seth and I did do this film on Movie Talk, y'all, so y'all can go check that video out last summer. And there's nice references. I'm a Peanuts fan as well, y'all. I love the Peanuts franchise. Um, and there's nice references to previous Peanuts works, like the Christmas time is here, counting down. That at the beginning, in the middle of the movie, that was pretty cool. And also, we have a subplot with Snoopy being the Red Baron, subplot, which is a pretty cool subplot, obviously. And all these Peanuts characters are all voiced by kids, and each and every one of them did a great job voicing each kid in the Peanuts. It's great. And this is the first Peanuts movie that since Charles M. Schulz, aka the creator of Peanuts, passed away. May he rest in peace. And it's nice. It's nicely animated because it kind of blends 2D animation with 3D animation, which is a very cool and Sony will later do that style as well with the Spider-Verse movies, and DreamWorks will later do that with the Bad Guys movies, maybe a little bit of the Wild Robot and Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, and I think Pixar's doing that with Gato, their upcoming movie Gato. And also, the Peanuts movie is actually Blue Sky's first movie to actually have a post-credit scene. I mean, the first two Ice Age films had drawings, and Ice Age 3 and 4 had characters dancing, and Rio had pictures during the end credits. But this movie, the Peanuts movie, actually does have a post-credit scene, a scene that actually plays after all the end credits. So yeah. All right. Now, before I get to number one, all I gotta say for number one, before I get to number one, I would like to do a recap, y'all. So let's do a recap. All right. Number 15, Ice Age: The Adventures of Buck Wild. Number 14, Ice Age: 5 Collision Course. Number 13, Ferdinand. Number 12, Ice Age 4 Continental Drift. Number 11, Rio. Number 10, Rio 2. Number 9, Blue Sky's last movie before they shut down. Well, last official movie, that being Spies in the Skies. Number 8, Epic. Number 7, Nimona. Number 6, Robots. Number 5, Ice Age. Number 4, Horton Hears a Who. Number 3, Ice Age 2, The Meltdown. Sorry if I'm repeating myself. Number 2, The Peanuts movie. And now, the moment y'all all been waiting for. My number 1 favorite Blue Sky film. So, let's talk about it. Number 1. My number 1 favorite Blue Sky film is, well, y'all guessed it, Ice Age 3, Dawn of the Dinosaurs. I don't know why, y'all, but this is my favorite Ice Age film and my favorite Blue Sky film. It is a great movie, and it's just, and of course this film, just like a plethora of the other films, this film, Ice Age Dawn Dinosaurs, gets yet again another 10 out of 10. Sorry, y'all, I'm just doing my notes. And in this movie, well, you guys already, dinosaurs come to the Ice Age, and Manny and Ellie are about to become parents in this movie. And that was a really emotional scene when baby Peaches is born. And that's one of the reasons why this is my favorite. So yeah. And even Scrat gets a girlfriend in this movie, which set to that awesome tune, "You'll never find, as long as you live, someone who loves you to lose like I do." So yeah. And Sid the Sloth in this movie basically takes the three dinosaur babies and from their mother, and the mother comes back and takes her babies and Sid back to the Lost World. When the rest of the herd are trying to rescue Sid. And pardon my language, y'all, but there's a lot of dick jokes in this movie, which are all funny in my opinion. They might be a little gross to some people, but I think they're pretty funny. And a new character, when the rest of the gang, other than Sid, is joined forces with a new character voiced by Simon Pegg, a weasel named Buck. Who is a cool character. And who's after a dinosaur named Rudy. And Rudy's the main villain in this movie. And we also see some foreshadowing of Rudy in we see some foreshadowing of Rudy over the course of this movie. And plus, there's a reference to both Flintstones, and Alvin and the Chipmunks in this movie as well. And they're both really funny. And they're both really good references. And so, yeah, there's basically foreshadowing of Rudy, is what I'm trying to say. They're foreshadowing of Rudy sprinkled throughout this movie. And it's so awesome, y'all. I mean, a lot of people might say I'm not really much into dinosaurs. One of my aunts told me that. But I'm actually, I actually don't mind dinosaurs. I think they're cool characters. I think they're cool creatures that roamed the earth before humans were ever, thought of. And of course, we have that awesome ending dance number that everybody get on the floor, everybody walk the dinosaur. Boom, boom, like a boom, 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 like a boom, boom. So yeah, that was a cool song in the middle of the movie and during the end credits of the movie. And yeah, and the piranhas from Ice Age 2: The Meltdown actually do make a cameo in this movie as well. So that was pretty cool. And Sid is basically feeling like he's basically Sid and Diego are feeling left out because Manny and Ellie having a baby Peaches. But then they end up being part of the family anyway. And that was one of the cutest scenes in the entire movie. That's why it's my favorite Ice Age / Blue Sky film, y'all. It's an awesome movie, y'all. If you guys have never seen any of these movies, basically, then I highly recommend to see all of them, including The Adventures of Buck Wild. May not be the greatest, but it's still a very good movie. But anyway, back to Dawn of the Dinosaurs. It's a great movie, y'all. I mean, it's underrated as all heck because this movie is still Blue Sky's highest grossing movie. It made a lot of money at the box office. So yeah. And it's also the highest grossing animated film of 2009 and the third highest grossing film of that year after Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, I think. Yeah, Half-Blood Prince and Avatar, which, so coincidentally enough, also is made by 20th Century Fox, which Avatar is a decent movie, but still. Anyway, now as for the future of Blue Sky, we all know Disney shut down Blue Sky, so they're not going to do any Blue Sky films. But Disney has greenlight a sixth mainline Ice Age film, a sixth one, and it's called Ice Age Boiling Point. And Ice Age Boiling Point, all I gotta say is Ice Age Boiling Point. Hold on a second, y'all. All right, about Ice Age Boiling Point. My ideas for Ice Age Boiling Point, all I gotta say is the returning cast is coming back, except for probably Sean William Scott as the voice of Crash, and the baby from the first film comes back as an actual human and all grown up. That will be pretty cool to see. And Johnny Mazzamo, who's the voice of Sid the Sloth, actually announced this movie at first. And Diego and Shira have kids because that's their subplot in Collusion Course. And we see Julian's family before Peaches. Julian's family. Julian is the husband of Peaches. And the unknown places but of course in this movie what we're really going to see is the unknown places of the underworld, which the underworld is of course the place that a majority of Dawn of the Dinosaurs takes place, and in the Adventures of Buck Wild, and a little bit in Collision Course. But anyway, Ice Age Boiling Point is the title for the sixth Ice Age film, scheduled for release on February 5th of 2027. That's again, February 5th, 2027. So I'm curious, pardon that in the background, y'all. So I'm curious about this movie. I mean, I'm down for a sixth movie, kind of. I mean, but still. Following its announcement at D23, the movie will feature the original herd, Manny, Sid, Diego, Ellie, and Scrat. And there's also rumors that Scrat is going to have his baby from Scrat Tales in this movie as well. On a new adventure into the Lost World filled with dinosaurs and lava, the cast includes Ray Romano as the voice of Manny, Dennis Leary as the voice of Diego, John Leguizamo as the voice of Sid, Queen Latifah as the voice of Ellie, and last but not least, Simon Pegg as the voice of Buck. So yeah, y'all, am I excited for Ice Age Boiling Point? Kind of. I'll have to see a trailer to give my official thoughts. but still, and I will do a trailer reaction once that trailer drops. So yeah, so stay tuned for that, y'all. Um, I love Blue Sky, y'all. It's one of my favorite animation studios next to Pixar, like DreamWorks and Disney and all of them. You guys know me. I love movies, as you can tell. Um, or my big lights, camera, action sign right here. But yeah, I love this stuff, you guys. Um, as you guys know, I mean that's why film is in the title of this channel, especially the film/role guy. So yeah. And as for my next video, all I gotta say is you got a friend in me, because we're going back to trailer reactions. I'm gonna be reacting. I'm just gonna say it. I'm gonna be reacting to the new trailer for Toy Story 5. Cannot wait for this movie, y'all. So yeah, y'all. I love this studio. I love a lot of studios, and I love Blue Sky. And as for my next ranking video, all I gotta say for my next ranking video is that we're gonna be talking about a studio where it has a logo of a lamp bouncing on the letter I. That's my next ranking video. So it's gonna be hard, but still. And and also, if you guys and also this is not the official list of Blue Sky films. So I would love to know y'all's opinion on Blue Sky films. Which one's y'all's favorite? Do y'all agree with my picks, or do you guys disagree? Leave it down in the comment section. And what's y'all's favorite Blue Sky film? What's y'all's least favorite Blue Sky film? And you guys can count both The Adventures of Buck Wild and Nimona. You guys can count, because you guys can count those two films since I did. So yeah. So yeah, y'all. Without further ado, stay tuned for my trailer reaction on the new trailer for Toy Story 5. Please like, comment, subscribe, and tell me what y'all's favorite Blue Sky film is, like I said. And please follow me on all my social media outlets. That's Facebook, Twitter /X, Gmail, and Blue Sky. Yeah, I'm talking about the Blue Sky social media outlet that time. So yeah, y'all. And I'm Spencer Lee Film /Role Guy. Thank you for watching as always, and bye.